Good evening and welcome to this week's Autism News. I am going to kick things off with some really good news. There were 2 elopements this week that I heard about. One out of Chandler, Arizona, where a 17-year-old teenage boy eloped but was later found safe, and the other where a 39-year-old man who required medication and who was also on the autism spectrum went missing and who was thankfully later found by a neighboring police department safe and sound. I found the next story to be really interesting, and it is out of Australia. It comes from the Child Behavior Research Clinic, where they are offering a free 12-week program that basically teaches parents how to manage day-to-day issues with their autistic children. The program focuses on 3 elements that include managing disruptive behaviors, helping children communicate, and connecting more effectively. It also helps parents focus on ways to improve their own mental health. This treatment is being funded by the University of Sydney and Rotary Australia. The program involves weekly 1-hour sessions that involve seeing a clinical psychologist at the Brain and Mind Center at Camperdown. The director of the Child Behavior Research Clinic, Professor Dodds, says, "Really, we want the parents to go, I can manage this. I know what to do that's best for my child." The center is looking for 60 more families with children between the ages of 2 and 6 to participate in the program. And honestly, this to me sounds really positive. It sounds similar to something that we participated in right after Maggie received her diagnosis when she was 3, and that was a program here at our local university that worked with parents on how to communicate with their children, on how to interact with their children. The goals just to me sound very, very similar, and it helped hugely. It was something that we got involved with right after Maggie's diagnosis, in a time when I was really desperate to do something so that I could communicate with her and help her. I think especially after diagnosis, helping parents start to look for different ways to communicate with their children who have been diagnosed can be really, really huge. At least it was for our family. One very interesting subject that I also stumbled across this week is the topic of colleges that are going above and beyond the federal requirements for accommodations for students who are on the autism spectrum. And at this point, there are at least 60 colleges that are offering programs that go above and beyond the federal requirements. However, oftentimes these programs come with a hefty price tag that can be restrictive to a lot of families, but they can also make it possible for kids who otherwise would have a hard time going off to college and living on their own to do so. The programs offer everything from actual classes in the classroom where students can learn life skills, and sometimes even towards the end of their programs learn about professional skills or internships, to sensory rooms on campus for breaks, RA training for life in the dorms, and mediation over roommate issues, and just the extra support that a young adult on the spectrum might need when living away from home for the first time. However, the price of these programs is variable. Some colleges charge, it can be $3,500 a semester or $5,000 a semester to $7,000 a semester, depending on the level of support and depending on the college that the student is attending. So if it's something that's being paid out of pocket, it's definitely not the most affordable of supports, but it definitely can be life-changing for kids who are going away to college. When I started looking at news articles this week, this was the very first one that I saw, and I saved it for last this week, but it's still one of my favorites, and it is how a candidate at a Paris town hall meeting responded in a dignified manner when he was asked if he is on the autism spectrum. Cedric Villani is described as an eccentric maths genius who is running for the Paris mayor's office, and there have been persistent rumors that he is autistic. He has been increasingly targeted by internet trolls who keep suggesting that he is in fact on the autism spectrum. Finally, a journalist from the French Daily News asked him if he was personally affected by autism. His response was a good one, I thought. He said, I don't know. I have never been tested and I've never felt the need to be tested for it, but what would it change anyway? Polanyi has worked in Parliament. He has carried out several consultancy missions for President Macron, including the creation of a national strategy plan for research into AI. He was also awarded the prestigious Fields Medal, which is a prize that is often referred to as the Nobel Prize of Mathematics. He later went on to say, a direct question on autism shouldn't be perceived as being stigmatizing because autism shouldn't be stigmatized. And that is it for today. If you like this video, we'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in all things autism, we'd love it if you'd hit subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.